Hey Addicts, welcome back to another Walking Dead video. I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about issue 188 of The Walking Dead, and this one's called Falling Into Place. I'm going to try to go a little bit fast because not much happened in the issue, so we're going to try to bang this out really fast. So starting off, we're picking up right where we left off in the last issue with the Mercer in like their little changing area for the soldiers, and then Lance coming to confront him about betraying the people. And yeah, this kind of works. I think this was easily predictable of one of two ways that they go, where he's like, hey, we're gonna take him, and then everybody else just kind of like bitching out. They're not gonna follow him, and they take him away. We get flashback to the hilltop with Maggie and this one chick that's like the babysitter for Herschel, and they get to talk a little bit, and kind of subtly, well, not so much subtly, but just kind of hinting to the fact that like Maggie's got a big decision. Does she let the scouts that she let go to the Commonwealth take care of things, or does she start preparing an army to march onto this other group? So we see that she's kind of contemplating some decisions. We do like a flash forward in time, at least I'm assuming, because the princess showed that she left last issue, and she left like on foot, and in this next page we get to see the group that left the hilltop actually runs into her. So I'm assuming this isn't that far away from the Commonwealth, but it actually does a good way of maybe not a good way, but it does, the way it's like drawn and like placed, it feels a little awkward because it feels like the princess like leads them into a trap of like herds, but then we see that she comes back and defends. Because like in her character in this issue, you get to see that she, like she said in the previous issues, that she doesn't like being around people. She thinks being around people hurts her in a lot of ways. So I understand why she was like trying to walk away. Like she saw them and she kind of like contemplated to herself. She walked away, but it didn't really seem like she would like lead them into a herd. And I guess in the panel or like in the story, it like hints that was accidental, but it just seemed really intentional, or just kind of came out of nowhere. But one thing that is cool with this is you get to see Carl kind of step up and get a little bit more of screen time, or in this instance page time, and he starts to have kind of a back and forth with the princess, and we get to see that later in the issue. But then we jump back to Mercer, and he's being held in a cell, the same one I think probably Dwight was being held in, and Pamela comes to visit Mercer, and she's like talking down to him like, oh, I can't believe you betrayed us. And he is basically like, go fuck yourself. I was nothing but a puppet. Don't you dare try to think that you gave me the high life and, this, that, and the other. And we kind of see that she has a terrible poker face because she's a little bit disturbed, or she has this like, worried face when he's spouting off all this stuff. But then she just was like, goes back into hard mode and is like, you're where you belong. Then we get to see back at Eugene, and I think this is the first time we've seen Eugene in a while, but we get to see that he's working at the train, trying to get that operational so they can commute faster. And I do like this part where the soldiers come, like the white guards, and they say that, hey, you guys can stay here if you want, but we need to pull back because shit's going down. And Eugene, he's smart but not smart. He decides to stay there with no protection, although he does have the one chick with him. For the life of me, I can't remember her name right now. But then we get to flash back inside the Commonwealth with Michonne and Rick, and this is I don't know, like I do like how they kind of like Rick kind of comes to the realization of what the problem may be, but still though I'm hating what they're doing with Michonne. She's just so passive aggressive and confrontational, and it doesn't feel like she has to be. I don't know, that is a little bit of a sore spot still for me. But then we get to see, like I said, Rick kind of comes to the conclusion that Dwight's not here to stir everything. Why is it escalating so quickly? And then he, realizes, wait, we haven't seen Laura in a while, and that's the girl's name, Dwight's girlfriend. I could not remember her name, but we finally got the name drop again here. But we get to see that, you know, there's divides even amongst the guards on like breaking out Mercer and the one's still loyal to the governor, and Laura is kind of, or I guess maybe on the fence of like helping Mercer, and we get to see that Laura is, you know, trying to capitalize on the like, hey, I'm a friend of Mercer, why don't we help your buddy out too? And so we get to see I don't think we get to get touched on that again, but so that kind of hangs in there. But then we get back to where like the princess and Jesus and Carl are, because they got separated from the rest because this herd's so big. Their group kind of splinters off so that they can redirect the herd like they have done in the past back at Alexandria. And while they're kind of waiting for the crowd to disperse, this is where we get the little bit more of character development for the princess, kind of, you know, because we brought up the issues that she had in the last issue, I believe it was. Oh, I apologize for that noise. And with that, we get to see that, you know, she's kind of accepting or, you know, embracing, facing those issues, and kind of trying to overcome them, you know, with her fear of like people or just like her mixed match of people. And Carl kind of helps with that. So that's where we get to see the connection with them. And it really seems like they do kind of hit it off. Not like romantically or anything, but it's more like the Sophia type friendship, or maybe camaraderie, if you will. And so that's where it seems like it's going, because they get a little bit more of uplifting stuff. But going back, you know, we get to see that they safely disperse the herd, and they kind of reconnect. And then there's also another moment with the Princess Carl. Not very important. It's just talking about, like, you know, looking for a future that they don't have to kill anything for a long period of time, whether that be, you know, living or dead. So they're making their way to, or they're about to make their way towards the Commonwealth, you know, to do the mission that they came here for. But right before they leave, you know, they give the little like hint drop thing where Sadiq's saying that, yeah, we safely dispersed the herd, and that was one of the biggest ones we had to disperse in a while. But we were able to redirect it from the Commonwealth, so it's not going towards the Commonwealth, it's going towards the train yard. But lo and behold, that's where Eugene is still held up, and he has no guards. But this panel, I will show this one panel. So, Skybound, don't scream it. But do you see that? Like, look at all those walkers back there. And how are they still... I mean, this is like terrible writing 101. Like, how can they not hear the walkers? I thought it was funny. The person that I'm reading this comic of, somebody, or I saw this panel, they had AirPod Airs in Eugene's ears. Like, oh, that's why you can't hear the walkers. But yeah, you know, looking back at this issue, there is one highlight for me, and that is that they are, you know, bringing Carl more to the forefront. You know, since Negan's gone, you know, Negan's a big character, but Negan's story is kind of done, at least for now. You know, he's off in the wind, so we're not going to focus on that character. Dwight's dead. He was a big, I would say, like the second. Michonne's being real bitchy, so, you know, we're not going to have really any of hers in a good way. So Carl's the one that I would want to step up, you know, and I do like the little bit that we've seen of him, but, you know, again, it's kind of like a mixed bag, because this storyline is, it's like one of those things where you find it intriguing at first, but then it drags on so long that you're kind of losing interest to the point that you don't really even care at this point. You just want it to be over. That's kind of how I feel right now, especially with this issue. I really thought this issue was going to be the one that finally had something, you know, kick off, especially with, you know, the title was a little bit promising. And I don't know, I just feel like they could have done something a little bit more with this issue than what we got. We're still taking it very slow. At this point, you know, I still think, you know, what we've said in the past, you know, people I've talked to in the comments, or, you know, just in my past videos talking about what I think is going to happen, I still think that's still a good theory, because not much has really changed otherwise to really, you know, subvert my expectations so far, because it's, you know, just falling in place to what I think is going to happen. They're just taking it a lot slower than I thought. So overall, this issue was kind of disappointing, and you know, like I even showed you in that last panel, and you know, talked about in the middle of the issue, there are some things that are written very poorly in this issue. It kind of takes a lot of rarities. It kind of takes a lot of like logic out the window, and so that's something I really hated in this issue. But you know, overall, I don't know. It's like I said, it's like one of those stories that I started. You know, I was interested in when I first, you know, got introduced to this storyline, and so I want to see what the end result is, but I kind of just want to skip to the end at this point. But you know, I don't want to downplay it too much, because, like, you know, getting Carl, it is kind of worth seeing those little tidbits of Carl. But if you guys are buying it issue by issue, I would definitely wait on this. To be honest, I think maybe the last 5 issues, honestly, this whole volume, whatever this volume is going to be, you probably just wait if you guys haven't read any of it in a while, because, like I said, hardly anything's going on. But that'll conclude this video. Like I said, I don't want to rattle on too long, because not a lot was in this issue, and not much changes for, you know, theories going forward. I actually, hang on a second, before I end this, let me just look real quick and see what the cover is, because I don't remember what the cover is of 189, or the title. It's kind of, Google makes me go through 5 different things. Oh yeah, that's right. It's looks like people of the Commonwealth. I'll just show it like that, because I don't like editing things in. But this one's called The Lines Are Drawn. To be honest, I doubt we'll see any confrontation. If they really wanted to speed it up, maybe Laura will get the workers of the Commonwealth to create a diversion so her and the soldiers can break Mercer out. That'd be my only guess if they really wanted to escalate things now. But I don't really see that really working out, because I feel like that's a little bit too easy and too predictable. But with that, you know, Pamela might fall for that, since she doesn't seem like she knows anything about confrontation. But I'm just kind of like waiting for it. I'm not excited for the next issue, but we'll still read it when it comes. But we're stopping to hear Addicts. So let me know what you think of the issue. Did you like it? Are you just like me, ready for the story arc to end, or are you still holding out hope that something is going to come that's going to be a big twist that's really going to drive the story forward? So let me guys know. Let me guys know. Yeah, that's not how I said that. Let me know, guys, and I'll see you in the next issue of The Walking Dead. And the show is coming back next week, so I'll be back for that too. But anyway, guys, peace, Addicts.